Hey guys, bjthebrave, and I am back today with another deck guide for you, and this time we've got some Zagstruk. So I don't think I've ever done a Zagstruk deck guide before, and you know, me being the Ork boy and doing all the Ork decks and everything, I kind of figured that was a big haul. And yeah, I'm kind of excited to share this one with you. So look, we all know that right now in the meta that I've done the kind of Ghazghkull mill control, and that's been very popular. I've done a Gordrang version, and I've done plenty of control decks in the past. And everybody's always used Zagstruk as a kind of the aggro warlord in the Orks. Well, I kind of obviously thought about it and thought, could he actually be any good as a control warlord? I mean, at the end of the day, you know, he gets extra attack with his power, so he can have 3 attack. He gains fly, so he can take out enemy flyers pretty nicely using his melee attack. And the other kind of advantage that started to get me curious is that obviously every time he uses his power, he gains +1 armor. Now, because we've just recently had things like Skarboy, that means that we could often be having 2 or even 3 armor on Zagstruk when he uses his warlord power. So what we're trying to do with the Ork control decks is obviously survive, and one of Zagstruk's weaknesses is that he only has 35 health, but I started to think, well, actually having the ability to armor up on playing the warlord talent with Grizzled Skarboy makes him more survivable than, say, Gordrang in theory. The other thing is he's probably you probably feel safer trading. I mean, Gordrang's good at trading, but he does take the damage back, where again the armor here helps. And I think the flyer is an advantage over Gordrang overall in terms of trading with units, because I know it's one less power, but generally when you're trading like that, the concussive is less important, and you're more like trying to clear a unit. And I think actually having the fly and being able to attack flyers on melee is actually pretty good from a control point of view. So that's really the advantage that Zagstruk's got over the rest of them. You know, if we're trying to survive, the ability to armor up every turn is actually pretty good. And then only really trading with him when we're looking to attacking with Zagstruk when we're looking to trade units, rather than just blindly hitting face every turn. Kind of got me curious, and I wanted to see how that would work in a control deck. So let's take a look at the rest of the deck. It's very similar to the Ghazghkull version, except for what you'll notice in this version is I'm not running the Burner Boy and Spanner combo. Now, you could definitely do that. You know, you could run that if you wanted. But instead, what I'm actually running here is the Mech Boy. So I'm kind of going for some more mid-range sort of beefy units. So I've put the Mech Boy in. I've also put the Big Choppa in, Big Choppa Nob as a 6-drop, and I believe what I've also got is Proper Killy and Rok Invasion. So a lot of my other versions usually have one or the other of those finishers, but I think Zagstruk Rok Invasion works well with him. But I think Proper Killy is really good to have here. So with Makari giving +1. His talent giving him +1 from worst temper, that goes up to 4, and then obviously Proper Killy can do 5, so that means he can still do 10 damage finisher from Proper Killy, so it gives us another win con there. We do run the double Tider Muscle. I think this is really key in these control decks, to be honest. The double Warbiker, of course, and then we've got the usual heal, so the double Irongob giving us the +5 heal, and obviously the concussive, and as well as the Grizzled Skarboys, and we look to really get the Skarboy down as early as possible. Then we obviously run the obligatory hard removal in the double Mukkin About and Will of Gork. We run the Ork Nob because it's the Ork Nob and he's in every Ork deck, and we run the double Skorcha Assault, so again early game removal there. Really good against Eldari as well. The double Boss Nobs, good synergy actually with Zagstruk, because Zagstruk wants to attack with his melee damage, right? So good synergy there with triggering Mob. And then, as I already explained, we've got the Mech Boy. He sometimes will make a vehicle cheaper. It's a nice bonus when he does, but it's mainly just like a really decent, like solid 5-drop body. And obviously sometimes getting the custom job on the vehicles can be really really insane. The Big Choppa Nob's in there for a nice proactive 6-drop, and then we've got the obligatory flank removal. So once we hit turn 6 we feel very safe. Squigbuggy is just great with the, if you've got level 20 on the Forge, we can get this for -2 discount. So generally what I'm looking to do when I'm going second is to keep Squigbuggy in my opening hand, and then use the discount to be able to play this on turn 4. And the great thing with that is that it drops the bomb squig, they then get rid of it on turn 5, and more likely to therefore from the explosion to have damaged units, and that's where we want to play the Grizzled Skarboy on turn 5, so that's really good synergy there. We do run double Veteran Stormboy because it's like one of the best cards in the faction, and a great flanking unit with Mr. Ardshell for the 7 proactive, the double removal, and then the Rok Invasion. So that is the deck, guys. As I say, we're looking to play this as a control deck, so we are not hitting face early on generally, but it obviously depends on the matchup. And the thing with the Zagstruk version of the Ghazghkull version is we can turn the corner, we can switch gears. It's one of the weaknesses of the Ghazghkull version is that if it's in a matchup like Tervagon where it just can't really switch gears, where at least the Zagstruk and the Gordrang versions can. So yeah, let's jump into some games and just show you a couple of examples. So first of all, I'm going to show you a game against Gordrang. Okay, so with this hand we're going to get rid of those two. We just keep the Makari here. We're really looking for, generally looking for the Grizzled Skarboy and the card draw. But here we go, so we can just drop Makari. We actually do attack there. It's interesting, we don't have to, because obviously this guy is going to attack us with his huge chopper, and he has to go, if he goes with the melee attack, which he will do, he'll at least take an extra point back by having Makari out. Okay, so we have a bit of a dud turn there. He plays the Gretchin. Now we can attack back, obviously, because he's not stunned us this turn, and we're actually going to get the Ork Nob out here and just give him something else to think about rather than hitting our face. Okay, now here's the extractor rig. This is what I was talking about that we like to do. He uses it to get a really cheap Grot tank out, and he's actually going to do the spanner combo. He's got 2 units that can attack, so that's pretty nice. He gets a nice big spanner there. But of course, because we've got the Warbiker and the Gretchin Mob here, we can actually just remove that. Not Gretchin Mob, sorry, Makari the Grot. It's quite late here, guys. I'm a bit tired calling things by the wrong name. Get the explosion, and now we're ahead on board, so we can actually attack here, because you know, this is what I mean about changing gears with it being a control deck, like recognizing the board state and thinking we can actually put a bit of pressure on here. It goes with the pyrotechnics though, that's quite nice there to clear the board. By the way, you do get concussive on the units that it blasts when you use pyrotechnics on this guy, so if you didn't know that, it's like a ridiculously good combo. I think this is a little bit of a misplay. I think I probably should have played Makari on the other side there, but either way, it didn't actually matter in the end because he just takes Makari out. And mucking about, he could have done that anyway. And he's gonna, he can't stun us because he's already attacked. That's one of the weaknesses of Gordrang, right? Like when he's needing to clear units, then his warlord talent's just a waste. So this is a bit of a rare opportunity to just drop the proactive 6-drop. So you've got to kind of look out for those because they don't come along too often. And yeah, it's quite a lot for him to do there, so he's going to use Will of Gork. So we're pretty happy with that, right? We get Makari back, so we've really played a 6-drop and he's played a 7-drop, and he hasn't developed any tempo, which is the downside of Will of Gork. So we kind of traded quite nicely for that. Now we're in this position as well where if we use Worst Temper, we're up to 4 and we've got the shield. So we're putting 4 on him and we're only taking 1 back. And then we've got the Gretchin Vanguards to obviously protect against the stun. Sometimes Gretchin mobs are kind of like thrown away by the alt players, just played randomly on turn 3 just because it's a free drop. But like in a control deck, you need to think a little bit more about, like, do you need to play them as a tempo card? You know, and obviously there that was really pivotal. And then there's like about 15 ways we could win the game here. you know, we can obviously. Oh, sorry. So yeah, so we clear the Ork Nob there. Sorry. Yeah, we clear the Ork Nob, and then it's basically he plays the big boy, but obviously we've got a way to get around that. It's also why Skorcha Assault's really good when they do stuff like this, because you can just clear out the little guy, and then mucking about. That's GG. 2 armor on. Hey. Okay. So that was Gordrang. So now I wanted to show you one more game. We did lose a game to Galen, and basically in this game we didn't draw any armor, and he drew Wailing Doom. So we really struggled to maintain our health, and that obviously is one of the weaknesses of running Zagstruk or Gordrang in this kind of control variant. When you play the tempo decks like the Galen and the Uriel, like if you don't draw into your heal and your armor, then you can be in real trouble. So especially if he draws his Wailing Doom on curve, he had his Hemlock on 8 and then Wailing Doom on 9, so it was curtains. And then we played against Swarmlord. So I'm going to show this game because there's a few interesting plays. So as you see, we're going second, so we keep the Squigbuggy, right, because we obviously want to get the bonus. We always keep mucking about against usually against Tyranids full stop, but certainly against Swarmlord we keep it. I often even keep Will of Gork, to be honest, but hard removal is really important against the go big bosses. This is a pretty good hand, to be honest. I'd rather that be Grizzled Skarboy rather than Chopper, but it's a pretty good hand. He's got the infinite biomorphologies though, so already off to a good start. We just drop this and say, look, what do you want to do? If you want to beat me down, then you're going to take 3 damage back. And if you hit Makari, we're happy because we get it back and you're not damaging our Lord, so it's preserving the health. So Makari always good. We actually went and smacked him in the face with the melee there as well. So that's like, you might think like, why would you do that? And so, kind of talked about this in the Gordrang and the armor up video that if you're playing for control, then attacking with ranged. If you're going to attack Swarmlord, if you're playing for control, then attacking with range is better. If you're playing as the beatdown, then you want to kind of melee attack. Now, because Swarmlord is like, the way I look at doing it is ultimately they end up being a combo deck, right? Because if the game goes long enough, they're going to draw Ravenous Hunt, and you're probably not going to be able to do anything about it. So it's a weird kind of approach to Swarmlord, because you sort of play control, but you can't just play control all day. You've at some point you've got to like be able to switch the gears. And that's kind of why I actually went with the melee attack there. But anyway, so he drops the warrior. Now this is where we can do our forge level 20, get the discount, and smack him with the 6 drop for only 4 energy. So he's just going to actually whack the Squigbuggy there, take the 3 damage. The explosion was kind to us. And he drops the big old guard. And now we know that the infinite biomorphologies gave the +2 health. So we got options here. Obviously we want to play the Skarboy, but I think we actually just go ahead and mucking about. We don't have Will of Gork in hand, so we didn't want to risk him getting a bigger board there. And we're not going to attack, right? Like, we're going to make him deal with it, like, especially with this, because he actually takes 3 damage. Like any other warlord would just attack the range. He has to take them. He has to take that, and then Makari acts as the kind of pincushion for the defense. And then he just drops a Carnifex down. Now we can't clear the Carnifex because if we had 7 energy, we could drop Makari and Stormboy to do it. We don't have it, so that's why I just drop. Like I'm going to oppose you with this, and if you out trade it, like he's going to do here, then we've got the Will of Gork or the Stormboy with Makari next turn. And look, he puts really good resources into this to kill him. That is stunned. So there is an argument that we could play even greedier here, and we could kind of like, We probably could get away with the Grizzled Skarboy here. Now I don't think I do. Yeah, I will have got now. You know, thinking about that on reflection, like I actually think that wasn't a bad turn to just Skarboy there, because we weren't going to take that much damage back. He had 2 units that were stunned. If he developed his board any further, then we could have Will of Gork next turn, and that would have been insane for us. So I actually think the better play would have been to Skarboy there on reflection. Yeah, and you see, if he'd dropped the Broodlord, we'd have got that as well in the Will of Gork. So now we're a little bit worried about, you know, Ravenous Hunter and the can he finish us here? So we obviously drop Ardshell just to kind of act as a bit of a road. What's the word? Bump in the road. Which is all it's going to be, because let's be honest, this thing's going to get buffed. Yeah, so he buffs that up. Double Hive Commander. And he gets the Hardened Biology. Ouch. But the good thing is, he's essentially... We need 7 attack to kill that. And we've had the Stormboy sitting here with Makari. So we can just go ahead, drop Makari and a Stormboy. Put the Veterans right it, kill that. And now... Remember we talked about putting this 4 on, about needing to turn the corner? Like now we can start to beat the Swarmlord down, like, and just race him essentially. Because his health's so low. He's desperately trying to get something to stick here, so he puts all his... Oh, he actually heals the Swarmlord, which is just smart of him actually. Okay, so we draw the Mukkin About. Our hero power, get the armor up, so the armor's really helping us there right, when we're doing the melee trading. Actually, I don't think we did armor up there, did we? That was from Grizzled Skarboy. We didn't have enough energy to do that. And he plays these, but he's run out of, you know, he's already played his Vanguard. There's nothing he can do. There's about 1,000,001 ways we can win the game here. We can go Proper Killy, we can go the Warbiker, we can go the Skorcha Assault, Worst Temper, Makari. There's so many ways we can win it. Just basically hit with the yeah, that's GG. Got Skorcha Assault as well. And that is GG. So there we have it, boys. There is Zagstruk Control. Just goes to show that you know, this guy doesn't have to be an aggro only kind of boring basic beatdown. I actually quite enjoy using him as a control player, and I kind of like the thinking about the interaction between armor and the health. So for me this deck works quite well, and also just thinking about the Tau Empire around the corner as well, with all those 3 health drones that have flying. You know, actually Zagstruk's flying ability might become even more important as we go forward. So yeah, let me know what you think in the comments anyway, guys. This deck's a lot of fun, a bit of a different way of playing it if you're sick of just running Ghazghkull, and yeah, go and have some fun. Let me know how you get on, and as always, if you enjoyed this video, then please hit the like button. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't. If you have, then thank you so much. Appreciate your support. Until then, I'll see you in the next one. Ciao for now.